Have you ever replayed a conversation over and over again, long after everyone else had forgotten it? Maybe it lasted only a few minutes. Maybe it wasn't even important. Yet somehow, months later, or even years later, your mind still returns to it. You remember the silence, the look on someone's face, the words you wish you had said, or the words you wish you had never said at all. It almost feels like your brain refuses to let the moment go. Psychology suggests this isn't because you have a better memory than everyone else. It's because your brain believes that conversation is still unfinished. Imagine watching a movie that suddenly ends 5 minutes before the final scene. You would probably spend the rest of the day wondering what happened next. Your brain reacts to certain conversations in exactly the same way. When an interaction ends without a clear answer, when someone leaves without explaining, when you can't tell what they were really thinking, your mind treats it like an open file. Instead of closing it, it keeps opening it again and again, hoping that one more replay will finally reveal something you missed. The strange part is that most of the time, it never does. Because after a while, your brain isn't actually looking for new information anymore. It's looking for certainty. Think about the last time someone replied with nothing more than, "Okay," just one word. Logically, it means almost nothing. But emotionally, it can mean everything. Were they annoyed? Did they lose interest? Did you say something wrong? Should you explain yourself? Within seconds, your mind begins creating dozens of different explanations. Not because it enjoys overthinking, but because uncertainty makes the brain deeply uncomfortable. Psychologists have long observed that people often prefer an unpleasant answer over having no answer at all. An answer brings closure. Uncertainty keeps the story alive. And that's exactly why replaying the conversation rarely makes you feel better. Every replay creates another possibility, another interpretation, another question. Instead of finding the answer, your brain accidentally gives itself more puzzles to solve. But here's something even more surprising. If replaying conversations were only about finding answers, they would disappear the moment you understood what happened. Yet many of them don't. Even after you know exactly why someone acted that way, the memory still returns. That's because your brain isn't holding on to the conversation itself anymore. It's holding on to the emotion attached to it. Years from now, you probably won't remember every sentence that was spoken. But you'll remember how you felt: rejected, embarrassed, ignored, misunderstood. Our emotional memory is often much stronger than our factual memory. The words slowly fade away. The feeling doesn't. And once an emotion becomes attached to a memory, your brain keeps revisiting that memory, almost as if it's checking whether the danger still exists. In a strange way, it's trying to protect you. Every replay is your mind quietly asking, "What can I learn from this, so it never hurts like that again?" The intention is good, but the strategy often isn't. Because some conversations don't have a perfect explanation. Some people never tell you why they changed. Some relationships end without closure. Some questions never receive an answer. The more your brain searches for certainty, where certainty doesn't exist, the longer the memory survives. Which leads to perhaps the most important realization of all. Maybe you've never been trapped inside that conversation. Maybe you've been trapped inside the emotion it created. The conversation lasted only a few minutes, but the feeling stayed. And every time your mind presses replay, it isn't trying to remember the past. It's trying to understand something your heart never fully accepted. Perhaps that's why the hardest conversations to forget are often the ones that change the way we see ourselves. Not because of what someone else said, but because of what we started believing about ourselves afterward. And maybe That's the real reason your brain keeps pressing replay.